You'll know more about me later.
So thank you so much. We're ready to begin. Turn
Okay.
that off.
Yeah, like Miss Laverne said, I want to thank all of you for being here and just being able to take time out of your day to just be here and let all of us know how successful you are. We wanted to start off with the first question, and at the beginning by asking each of you to share kind of about your upbringing. What were your dreams and aspirations when you were a little girl, or where you wanted to end up, where you wanted to be? If we can start with you.
Okay. So I was born and raised in California. I grew up in San Fernando Valley, the Van Nuys area, and then I also went to elementary school out there. So the first part of my life was in the valley, and then I moved to Eastville and went to high school, to Eleanor Roosevelt High School out there, and moved out here to Paris. So I'm actually pretty local, but grew up, as an only child. I did have a lot of cousins on my dad's side. So my mom had raised me. My dad, he was super busy with work, but he was very supportive, in my academics and my passions and things like that. And as far as my aspirations and dreams as a kid, I was very artistic, so I had an artistic side to me, right? So anything in regards to fashion design, to drawing, painting, I had to be creative, right, as an only child. So that was kind of my thing. As far as my hobbies when I was a kid, it was drawing, it was roller skating. So now I kind of moved that into my adulthood. So roller skating is like my other big hobby aside from what I do. I'm also in the National Guard as well. When I was a kid, that wasn't something that I had dreamed about, but as I got older and I found out the different opportunities, it's something that I also grew up passionate for.
Wow.
We're kind of similar. I'm born and raised in California too. Was born in Los Angeles, moved to Fontana a little bit, and then moved to Eastville. So we're actually from the same place. Went to Roosevelt too, and then I moved to JFK, which is a middle college, which allows you to basically take college classes while you're in high school. So it's like right next to Norco College. So did that for a little while. Then went to University of California, Riverside for my undergrad in neuroscience, and then went to Cal Baptist University for my master's in biomedical science. And then when I was younger, what did I want to be? I want to be a doctor. Still do. Still moving towards that, I got African parents, gotta make them proud, But it's always been something I enjoyed. And for me, things I like to do are building things or figuring out how things work. Me and my papa always like to do projects, and I almost feel like how some people say they were raised like a boy or whatever, if you will. But I just liked learning things, building things. Carpentry is like a thing that I grew up doing, so that's one of my hobbies.
Wow, I have to think back a little bit further than these two young ladies. So I am born and raised in California too, from Los Angeles, really Compton, California, proud of it, and went to school at Centennial High, that's in Compton, and graduated from there, and from there went on to the University of San Francisco. I too, once upon a time, wanted to be a doctor, but early on, I knew I had a calling for caring for others, because even as a child, I was hospitalized a lot, and just seeing, being in the hospital a lot, just knew that was something I was called to do, was to care for others. And so was on the track to be a doctor. And there was a point in my life that I was a candy striper at Martin Luther King Hospital, that was in Compton as well, and a nurse. I had a nurse that I just grew very fond of, and she kind of mentored me. And it was at the point of being in the 9th grade that I decided I wanted to be a nurse and not a doctor, but still in the field of medical and caring. And so went on to community college, Victor Valley, got my associate degree in nursing, went on to Cal State Dominguez Hills, got my bachelor's, and from there to the University of Phoenix, and I got my master's in nursing. and then to Cal State Fullerton for my EDD, which I had to pause. So I'm an ABD, everything but dissertation. I still have my dissertation to do, so I haven't done that. And my pause was because my dad got ill, and caring for him kind of changed my direction with my education. But even still, caring for him and then losing him, and then it just all became about family. So I didn't go back and finish, but I have no regrets on that. Because now I'm going to be retiring soon, so why do I need an EDD for? My career has been in nursing. I'm a nurse for 36 years, and from nursing into education. I am the Vice President of Career Education at Mount San Jacinto College, so I oversee all of the career education, nursing, allied health, counseling programs there, and it has served me very well. I've been there for 26 years at MSJC, and I'm so glad you guys are representing us in here amongst the other many, many opportunities that you have. I am a mom of 4 beautiful adult children. They're beautiful now because they're grown. And I am a gammy to 8 adorable grandchildren. That is really now, I guess, my hobby now, because I look so forward to spending the time with them and you know, seeing them grow. They're from the ages of 22 to 2. So I have my time with the older ones that really give me the most grief. And then I have 5 that's under the age of 5 that really give me the most pleasure. And so that's me. My aspirations have been about caring and caring for others, and that's what took me down the field of nursing. And I have truly enjoyed my journey as a nurse and as an educator now.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful to see all of like the little things that you enjoy as a kid and where you are today. I think some of us can also like relate all the little things that we enjoy now and see where that's going to bring us.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to the next question. What or who got you to where you are today? Like anything specific? I know you mentioned some already of your dad and where that got you to where you are today. But anything else you guys would like to add?
Really, for me, it was my support system. So definitely my mom, my dad, my grandmother. She suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and my mom and I had taken care of her when we were living in Eastville for about 10 years. And it was just me and her. I was in high school. I would wake up early in the mornings and, you know, help my mom take care of her. And she would go to the daycare center. We would pick her up and feed her. And it was a very, you know, it's a progressive disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very tough because she has a strong personality.
Yeah.
And just to see the disease kind of affect her in that way, and for her not to recognize us, like it was very tough on the family.
Yeah.
She passed away in 2018, so it was the same year that I graduated from college from San Bernardino. So what I like to do now, and as part of my platform as well, like being Miss California, I like to go out into the community and kind of spread that Alzheimer's awareness to other families who are dealing with that, or who are either experiencing the disease or caring for somebody who has the disease.
Yeah.
And I just want to, you know, kind of, I guess, you know, care in that way, and just kind of show other people that, or let other people know what the disease is and how you can care. Because for us, it was a little tough, you know, not really knowing how to care somebody with the disease. So, yeah, and my grandma was a strong woman. So even when it came to me to join the National Guard, just remembering how she was, you know, as a strong woman and as a strong single mom, and just, you know, her ambition for life and for the things that she wanted to do, just remembering those things as time got tough for me when I was going throughout basic training really helped to motivate me and to push me through. And also remembering the things that my mom told me, you know, instilling education, doing, you know, not giving up on the things that I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So definitely my support system.
Yeah, that's amazing. I bet that it was a really big responsibility for you and your mom, and with much care, I'm sure your grandma also felt that.
I agree. My support system, for me, pursuing medicine and things of that sort, you know, my entire family is nurses. My mom is a nurse, my daddy's a nurse, my granny's a nurse, my auntie's a nurse, my auntie's a nurse, you know, and my cousin's an LPN, she's a nurse too, right? All we do is nursing and real estate. That's all we do. So,
And you breaking the cycle.
right? But I definitely had them behind me the whole time, you know, saying you can do it, you can always, you know, whatever you think you can't do, you can do, you know, and I never felt like I could not make it. So that's one thing that, you know, I like, I don't know, you know, life is different for everybody, but I don't know how I could do it without my family and the support that I truly have. So, I'm sorry, what was the whole question? I don't know if I finished it off. Okay. But yeah, my support system is definitely it. And the fact that I have people who went before me and showed me you could do it. I did it to here, now you go on some more, you know, and, you know, keep doing that on and on. So, yeah.
And I would say my support is my faith and my family. Coming up, you know, with parents that neither one finished high school. My biological dad, I have very rare moments of him that I can remember. But my stepdad finished 5th grade, and my mom finished 10th grade. And so they have always been strong about education. And coming from a family of 7, 6 siblings, that they really pushed us on education, and how education itself is game changer for your life. And it's your journey. It's not about the destination, not about getting there, it's about the journey. And education has such an impact on that. So she pushed us from early on about education. And then when I started my own family, they became my support system. My husband, I was saying earlier, they was talking about Valentine's Day and what you get. I said, I've been married 40 years. What's Valentine's Day now? Every day is Valentine's Day when you've been married for 40 years. And so he became part of that support group for me, still with my mom and my dad, and then my own children. My own children have inspired me beyond, because even going back to nursing school, I had 4 kids. So 4 kids in nursing schools is rough.
I bet. Yeah.
It's rough. But they inspired me every day. And for them to see me push myself, I think was a good motivation for them in their adult life now. So my faith, just believing in myself, believing in the blessings that God has given me and the opportunities, and then my family has been my support and continue to be.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think love and support is the one thing that especially students need behind them, because it's very hard. Like, it might not seem hard for you guys because you finished so many things and are successful, but high school can sometimes be hard, and
It still gets hard.
Yeah,
and
it's
after high school.
yeah, so having that encouragement and saying that you guys had the encouragement and the support system is really beautiful to see. Our next question is, what is the specific area of focus in your current job today? So what is it that you do, maybe on a daily, weekly, or even monthly?
So I'm a sergeant in the National Guard. My specific job is marketing and social media. So I basically help spread the word of what the National Guard is, because many people just hear the other branches, right, or just know what the Army is or the Reserves, but they don't really hear the National Guard portion of it. So I kind of talk about that, and on social media, I try to keep up with the trends. I know it's a little bit different, with this generation now, but I still try to keep up and just create content that is relatable to you guys or relatable to our generation now, and I just kind of make the Guard fun, and that's what it is, because people mainly think that joining the military is you have to be all tough and rough. It does make you a stronger person, but at the same time you could still be yourself. Like, you could still be girly and feminine, you can still be artistic and creative. You don't have to be something that you're not or change who you are if it is something that you're interested in. So I think that my position is kind of serves as a representation that you can do both, right? You don't have to let go of your passions and aspirations and your dreams to serve your community, you know, or to, you know, do a stepping stone to accomplishing something in the future. Like for me, I already had my bachelor's degree going in, so that, for me, it served as more of a stepping stone, right, to continue on my education. So some people might want to join because they don't have any other options, which is fine as well, because it's, you know, there's great benefits, there's great things that come from joining. But then also, even if you do know what you want to do, if you want to do nursing, if you want to become an educator, you can still also join to help, you know, get you to that point. So that's what I kind of like to do. I go out, you know, on different events, do different interviews. I interview other soldiers, I interview civilians, and I just kind of, you know, make it fun. So that's what I do.
Wow, that actually does sound fun.
Yeah.
So I'm the president of the Riverside County Youth Council, NAACP Youth Council. So we do a lot of stuff on the daily. We have a lot of different thrusts that we hit. Like some of you guys are seniors, you're going to college. We work to, you know, try to end student debt. You know, so when you go, you don't go and get into debt immediately, right? Other things, we give scholarships out. We also do things in health care, things in education, things in finance. You know, we have a lot of thrust. Right now, currently, what we're working on is getting students for AXO, which is actually your age group. So if any of you guys have any interests that are in anything from dancing, poetry, if you want to go into hospitality management and you want to, you know, work in hotels, if you want to do STEM, medicine, health, anything you can think of, there's a category for you. And basically, it's a competition. You compete locally first. If you do well, we take you to national convention, completely free hotel, free flight, everything like that. And you compete there. If you do well there, you can win scholarships. I think gold is $2,000, and it goes down a little bit from there to bronze. So like that's what we're working for right now, because we feel like we should take somebody in every category. There should be nobody left behind, right? We all need to get this money for college, for schools and stuff like that. So that's really what we're pushing for right now. And then I also serve as the committee chair for the California-Hawaii Environmental Climate Justice. So fighting for things like that, you know, making sure that our chapters have the resources that they need to, you know, talk to their legislators or do whatever they want to do to, you know, make a change in climate justice in their specific area. So that's what we're working on right now.
Wow. I don't know if my day-to-day is exciting as those two. Being vice president is an administration position. And so a lot of my day-to-day are meetings, presentations, and getting out in the community, working with our industry partners, and also being a member of chambers and things like that. I'll tell you where my greatest joy is, and I'm with students on campus. When I can sit down in the cafeteria with a student and just have an authentic conversation. What do you want to do? Why are you here? How can I help you? So my joy is when I can be that advocate, that resource for students, for them to be successful in their journey. And sometimes, you know, I sit in meetings, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this isn't what I want to be doing. But then I have to think, and I had a great mentor, that the impact that I have sitting at that table and making those decisions and advocating for those funds for students or those programs for students, be it programs where they can have free college, or programs where they can get scholarships, or programs where we can develop programs of interest to them. We're getting ready to start a psychiatric tech program and a radiology tech program. I mean, these are things that the jobs are in their communities that are in need, and an interest that students have. So I have to remind myself as I'm sitting at that table thinking, this isn't what I want to do, this isn't bringing the smile to my face, that it is having that impact because I see the results when I see our students that do succeed, when I see our students that are getting those connections and they're getting those jobs and they're getting those funding. So that's kind of my everyday. It's like up there in meetings and stuff, but it really is about making a difference and ensuring that students that want to go to college want to get a career, that they have every opportunity, and it is for everybody. Wherever your journey is, you are entitled. So tell yourself that. It is for me. College is for me. And if not, then workforce is for you. Because we also have programs that either give you skills, upskill you, or reskill you for various positions. So, yeah, that's the work that I do, and that's the joy that my work brings me when I see the impact it has on the students that we get to touch.
It's never not for nothing.
It's, I have to remind myself sometimes I'm sitting in there and like, okay, well, come on, make a decision.
Our next question is, what were your struggles in your journey for success? Would you be able to elaborate on the things you had to overcome to be where you are today? And I know it's kind of a tough question, but
I would say for me, probably self-doubt sometimes. A lot of the struggles that I had to deal with were probably internally, my own thoughts. Oh, you won't be able to accomplish this, or you're too this or too that, or I don't know, you're too slim to join the National Guard, or you're not strong enough, or whatever. It just self-doubt along the way. But again, I think it's having that support system. Also my faith as well, I think I know has really helped me when it came to, my mental mindset, my mental health. And just remembering that even when that it's okay sometimes to have those thoughts, but just not to stay in that place. Because things aren't always going to be perfect. There are going to be struggles that we go through, and it's okay to feel that way sometimes, but you have to have an outlet. Like it's, you don't want to just sit and wallow in that, So for me, that outlet was talking to people. It was prayer, whatever it is for you. It's good to, to have that outlet and to just remind yourself, that I'm here for a purpose, and what I'm doing, it's a journey. Like I don't have to be perfect along the way. Also dealing with perfectionism, especially being a social media manager for the state. I have a lot of eyes on me. Even being a title holder, there's a lot of pressures that come with it, and just trying to, I guess, get things perfect. But I mean, nobody's perfect, right? So just remembering that you become more relatable and more of an authentic person when you're not perfect, and that's what, we shouldn't strive for perfection, right? But we should strive to become the best that we can be. So that was kind of something that I had to overcome, and sometimes that I still overcome, right? So.
Yeah, I bet it's a daily struggle for most of us as well.
Yeah.
Because perfection is something that is on my mind, and something that I have to think about getting out of as well. So it's encouraging to know that the people who do struggle with thinking like that are not alone, and we have each other to be able to support.
Right.
Definitely, I agree. I struggle with that too. For me, I think the biggest thing is like knowing when you're doing enough versus too much versus not enough. You know what I mean? Like
balancing it out.
Yeah, because one day, like even when I was in high school, I was doing too much. Okay, I'll tell you that. Like every minute of every day had something to do, and then you get to college and it's like, well, I'm not doing all I was doing before, but it's like you in a whole different, field, you're in a whole different, so it's feeling like, oh, I'm not doing enough, I need to do more, I need to push for myself. Or sometimes feeling like I'm doing a lot, but not a lot for myself. I'm doing a lot for other people. I'm doing a lot for this. Every minute of my day has been for somebody else, nothing for me, So it's been really difficult to like evaluate yourself and say, what did I do for myself today? What did I do to further my dreams versus somebody else's dreams versus somebody else's mission and stuff like that. And also to help with that, you just have to have somebody in your, in your court, on your team basically, to say, okay, you're doing too much, chill out, or you getting a little lax, come on, rev it up, So find that person and make sure you trust them, make sure they got your best interest at heart, and listen to them. That's the hard part, because you they said and you're like, nah, I'm cool. And then when you crash because you did too much, now, so find that person and listen to them.
Yeah. The real people will tell you how it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd say early on my struggle was being ill a lot. As a child, and it carried on into my young adulthood. A lot of hospitalizations and poking and prodding and medicine and so forth and so on. So that gave me a lot of self-doubt with myself. Is that, anything I'm going to try, is it going to aspirate this illness? Is it going to set me back? What's it going to do? And so I doubted myself a lot in anything that I did. And on top of that, hopefully you don't get to experience it, but just being young women and women of color will be a struggle for you in itself, to try to get yourself at the table, to try to put yourself in positions so that you can be successful in your journey. And so I struggled a lot with that, doubting myself, and then walking into a room and it's like, what are you doing here? Type of deal. So that in itself caused a lot of the self-doubt, caused a lot for me to just say, oh, this is enough, I don't need to do anything else. But then, I'm telling you, I had a mama bear. And my mom is, she was probably my biggest and strongest advocate for pushing. Nobody determines your destiny or your journey but you. Nobody determines your worth but you. And nobody could stop you but you. And so hearing that over and over and over again, physically pushing as well, it's kind of helped me with my struggles. And she's still, I tell you, she's 80, but she's still a little spitball. Calling all the time. I was talking to her this morning. She lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. Mom, I'm going to speak to a group of young ladies. And she goes, okay then, you tell them. It's like, okay. So this is a message from my mom. Okay.
That's amazing. Now the complete opposite question. What was your strong moment? The moment where you realized you were proud of yourself and you knew you made it where you want to be?
I'm still working on that.
I would say I had a few strong moments, as far as strong moments, probably going through basic training. I was probably the most mentally tough situations that I had to be in, right? But it definitely came out stronger. As far as, it was also a proud moment as well, graduating from the training, and also, winning the title as well. That was also a proud moment for me. Of course, emotions all over the place, but it made me feel proud because I knew that the title would mean a lot more to me than just wearing something across my chest. It would mean representation. It would give me a platform to be able to talk about things that I'm passionate about, to, spend time with families who are suffering from Alzheimer's disease, things like that. And things like that, to where I'm able to talk to people and to inspire people, make me proud. Yeah. What was the second part of the question? Where I've made it, right?
Yeah.
Where I made it.
Where you realized you were proud of yourself and you knew you wanted to be where you are.
So it's interesting how life works, right? And the plans that God has for you, because I wouldn't have imagined that I would be where I am today and to have accomplished the things that I have accomplished. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, I've made it, but I'm definitely grateful for the things that I have accomplished. But I always like to come up with different goals, and to continue to keep striving to reach those goals, because I feel like once you stop growing, what else is there? So if you keep on creating new goals for yourself and working towards those goals, that's part of the growth. I feel like no matter what age we're at, what stage that we're in life, that we should never stop growing. So to me, it's not really of a matter of making it, but more so of, yes, I'm content where I'm at, but I also know that there's more in store for me, and I need to continue to work towards that.
Yeah. Kind of like accomplishing little by little.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I still got ways to go, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished right now. And like I come from my family, there's no such thing as done in my family. You know what I mean?
Man.
Even my grandma, I call her. I'll be like, Granny, what you doing? Thinking she's sitting down. Oh, I'm painting the house. Go sit down. It's 3:00 on a Wednesday. Go sit down. Just always trying to do something. Always trying to do the next thing. But one thing that does make me feel accomplished in my role as president of the youth council is I got into the youth council because of my advisor, who is now my soror. Her name is Sharon Lewis Campbell. And she's the kind of person that, like, you think you're going to show up to help, just, like, set up a table, and she'll be like, okay, here's the mic, go speak, you know what I mean? So I got used to that, and I was like, when I got used to that and got to the point where she would hand me the mic, and I'd be like, okay, hi, thank you for coming, got more comfortable speaking and confident in myself that I could do whatever I need to do for that day, do whatever I need to do for that minute, whether I got prepped or not. I can say something to make people feel welcome, make people feel glad to be here. And then also I think things that make me feel prouder that I made it is like when I have people who come behind me, because the work I do is social action. If nobody's behind you, you ain't doing no work for real, you know what I mean? So when I see people behind me and I hand them the mic and now they can say it, you know what I mean? Now it's really like, okay, when I'm done, when I'm out of the youth council, there's somebody behind me who got it. And when I'm an adult, there's always somebody behind me, and there's somebody in front of me pushing me forward, and I'm pulling the person behind me. So that's what really makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, like I'm making it.
Yeah, that's great.
That is so true. I would say one of my proudest moments, like there's probably many, is when I graduated from nursing school, and to have my children there. And my husband and my mom there, and just to find their face in the audience and just see the pure joy and excitement on their faces. That was a proud moment for me, because I struggled in nursing school. I struggled with my illness, that there were times I had to mess, and nursing school is very, very, very rigid. And there were instructors that were just like, okay, you're absent. You absent one more time, you're out of here. And so, struggling and trying to balance that goal that I wanted to become a nurse, and with my own personal illness that I was suffering with, it was a balance. And motherhood. And the husband, he was in the service, so was a single mom for the most part. So trying to balance all that, but I had my mom, my rock, was a challenge. And to see them in that audience as I walked across that stage getting my nursing degree was probably one of my proudest moments, because it was because of them and for them that I was able to be where I was. And we all a work in progress. There's no such thing as done. And I agree, to know that you have someone that's pushing you, but more importantly that you have someone that you're pulling alongside of you. Is truly, truly, I think that's the best testimony, the legacy, the accomplishment that you can leave behind, is to know that, you have brought somebody else along. And I would say, working my career as a nurse, when I would see students that I taught in nursing school, because I started out as faculty, working alongside me in the hospital, I was like, yay! I was part of that.
Yeah.
And so, they weren't my student, they were my colleague now. And that was a very, very proud moment. Because again, it's about the pulling somebody alongside of you. That's really, really the legacy and the testimony that we truly want to leave.
Yeah. You see the growth in that.
Absolutely.
I want to finish off a little question, I guess. One piece of advice that you can offer all of the young ladies in here today?
Piece of advice. There's a lot that I could say, but to keep it short, don't give up on what you want to accomplish. And I know it's something that you probably always hear, or quotes that you see on social media, right? But it's true. It's true. It's really true. There can be times where even outside people, you know, say, oh, you can't do this, or why would you think that you could do that, or no matter what it is, like you have that dream in your heart for a reason. And also, even if you feel like you're so far away from accomplishing that goal, you're actually closer than you think. You're closer than you think, and a lot of it is just a decision away. And you also have to realize that it's going to take time, right? It's a journey. It's not the destination. It's the journey along the way, and it's making sure that you're becoming the best that you can be. It's not reaching perfection. It's not comparing yourself and, you know, to the next person that you see on social media or the celebrity or whoever, but it's becoming the best that you can be. It's surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and asking questions when you need help. We're not always going to know the answer to things or how to get there, but if you see somebody who is in the place that you want to be, it's okay to reach out and to ask questions. The worst that can happen is probably, you know, a no or whatever, but it's okay. Like, we will get no's sometimes in life, right? But try again. And you will fail. You will fail sometimes, but failure should not be it should not be a stop. Like, it should not be something that says, okay, well, that's it. A lot of times you'll be redirected, which is okay, but as long as you keep going and you don't stop and stay stagnant, then you're gonna end up somewhere where you're supposed to be at.
That's what counts.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would say treat yourself with kindness. You know, you treat other people with kindness, treat yourself with the same kindness, you know. It's so easy to get self-doubt, criticism. I could have done this better, I could have done that better. But you would never say that kind of stuff to anybody else, and if you would, you wouldn't say it like you said it, you know what I mean? You know, you would work in kindness and talk in kindness. And I would say do that to yourself, because it's hard enough. You don't need yourself criticized. People are going to criticize you. The world's going to criticize you. It's going to be hard enough. Don't do it to yourself, or try your best not to do it to yourself. I know it's not easy, because you're always like, I can do better. And there's a difference, and try to learn the difference between pushing yourself, I can do better, and I didn't do well enough. Those are two very different things, you know what I mean? And just know that you're always growing, you're always learning, and celebrate all those little things, all those little growths. Every time it gets easier. If you don't like speaking in public, every time you speak in public and your voice don't shake, that's a win, right? Every time you know, whatever it is, every time if you're afraid of driving, if you got on the freeway and you drove and you got home, that's a win, you know what I mean? So celebrate all those wins and realize that, like she said, every day you're growing, you're becoming a new person, you know? And so appreciate that and give yourself time to be that new person.
I would say ditto. Make a plan, work your plan every day, and give yourself patience and grace, because every day is a moment to grow. Every day you're making a difference. So enjoy that and enjoy the journey. It truly, truly, truly is not about you will get there. You'll reach a destination, but you miss so much if you don't enjoy the journey and take the lessons and the celebrations as you're on the journey. So have a plan. Work it every day, a little bit every day. Work the plan every day, and be patient with yourself. And it's okay to pat yourself on the back, because every day that you're up and you're doing it, that's something to celebrate. And no one determines it but you. No one. So celebrate yourself. And seniors, ooh, I remember. I have a granddaughter that's a senior, and she's driving me crazy right now. Because she is so, it's just so much, and it's like, I don't know what I want to do. You don't have to have the answers. You don't. Have a plan, but you don't have to have the answer. Discovery is beautiful. You get to discover so much. So enjoy it. Enjoy the senior activities, enjoy all the gifts you're going to get, and enjoy all of that. So work your plan. Make a plan and work your plan.
Well, I want to thank you for your wise words, and thank you for sharing and being vulnerable today. I know that
Absolutely.
is sometimes hard, but you know, amongst us, we're really grateful for you to be here. I don't know how much time we have, but we'd like to open for discussion.
Let's give them a round of applause, please. We know we do have some questions. I'm sure we do after that amazing presentation, so thank you. Any questions that we might have? It's okay, it's the safe zone. It's all good. It's all good. If you have any questions, now's our time to get them. Oh, got you. Moving.
Or unless we covered everything that you wanted to know about them.
Anything about the nursing field? Anything about getting started with being proactive? I have my activist in the room. I'm not going to call them out. There it is.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
To join the youth council, like, what do I have to do?
So if you want to join, I'm Riverside County, right? You can join Riverside County. They also have one here that's Southwest Riverside County. You can join, but I'm actually going to be out tabling today, so you can scan the QR code. Yeah, and that's the AXO QR code, right? Is that scholarship is real serious, right? So if you guys do anything, I'm telling you, performing arts, visual arts, hospitality, anything, there's something there for you to do. But you can join the council. We let you guys know anytime we're doing stuff, and if there's something you're interested in, like I said, we do health, climate justice, education, voter rights, voter registration, anything you're interested in, there's something for you to do. Or if you think there's something you need, especially in your area, in Hemet, if there's something you're like, we really need somebody to talk to so-and-so, you know, we really need this program. I feel like I'm not prepared in this way. We can create those programs and bring them to your area. So, yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
I have 2 questions. How did you go about the medical field?
For the nursing?
Yes,
nursing. And like high school, you know, you took all the courses in high school, and then I applied to, it was Victor Valley College, where I got my associate degree in nursing. So I applied there, and all the prereqs, and then the game of applying to the nursing program. I will say right now, of the 116 community colleges, the CSUs, the UCs, the nursing programs are impacted. They're truly, truly impacted. We take, at Mount San Jacinto, we take 36 students a semester, but we get over 300 applications. And that's just at my college. So if you can imagine, Riverside RCC takes a couple of hundred, but they get thousands of applications. So if you want to truly, truly be competitive, it is going to be about those grades and those prereqs, your sciences, your English, your math. Those are the ones that's going to really make the difference. So if you buckle down and study hard in that, get those grades in those prereqs, apply to the nursing, and be willing to, you might live in Hemet and think Mount San Jacinto is your college, which we're glad you do, but be willing to apply to RCC, apply to San Bernardino Valley, go a little bit south towards San Diego. You want to be able to be willing to be flexible, that you are willing to apply anywhere. I will say truly, truly right now, my dear friend who's the dean at Palo Verde is way down there someplace, just started a nursing program, and they're begging for students right now to come, begging. So I am students that are not getting into my program, I'm saying, if you're willing to travel, get a roomie, and get some place down there, they are begging for students for their program right now, because they just got approved to start a program to take in, I think they're taking in 30, and I think they got like 10 applicants. So if that's truly, truly a desire, I'll leave my card, my contact information. I don't mind mentoring the future nurses whatsoever. So please contact me.
Is it all right if we post it in a Google Classroom?
Of course. Want information, let me know.
Gotcha.
Christiana, do you have another question?
Yes. What made you become an influencer, and how did you go about doing it?
So before I became a marketing social media manager with my job, I had a passion for social media in general. It started with, honestly, my natural hair journey. I just started, just documenting my journey, tagging different brands that I was using, different hair products, and then they were just, wanting to reach out, send me stuff, and things like that. And then I would just encourage, other girls who were, kind of going through that same journey or had questions. And that's kind of how my journey through social media started. And then once I grew my following through that, and my job kind of reached out in regards to that, and I said, okay, well, you kind of know how social media works a little bit, and But my favorite thing about doing that was just becoming relatable and just documenting my journey and saying, my journey isn't a perfect one, but it's something that I can help you out, or you can help me out, with whatever we're experiencing or going through. So that's where it started.
Yes.
What was you guys' favorite part about college?
Finishing.
That's a good answer.
A very good answer. Calculating.
I would say just exploring, just having fun, and just being able to explore what I liked and what I didn't like. Because going into college, I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do. I had always had a passion for the arts, but then at one time I wanted to be a veterinarian because I'm an animal lover, and then I also wanted to be a pediatrician because I have, my dad's a doctor, so I had, people in the medical field, and I loved babies. I just loved a lot, right? So that was more so my struggle, is that I felt like I had too many interests. But going to college kind of helped me narrow that down. Of course, I still have those interests. They didn't go away, but it allowed me to be surrounded by people who had the same interests and who can maybe help me on that path to where I wanted to be, if that makes sense. So that was kind of my favorite part about college.
I agree, exploring, because like I said earlier, I was doing a whole lot in high school. Like I was in band, marching band, water polo, swim, student athletic trainer. So it was like so much in high school, and I got to college, I was like, oh, I can. And because I did my middle college, I came in as a sophomore. So I got to chill out a little bit, like, okay, you got some credits, cool, and do what you want to do. So I liked exploring, and I got to, take a dance class, take a ballet class, and not feel like, oh my God, my degree. When am I gonna get my degree? I had the time to do it. So that's what I really enjoyed. One day you go in a salsa class, the next day you just in whatever you want. Like there's everything there. So just joining different clubs and doing things like that. That's what I really enjoyed.
My serious college experience, I was older. I had 4 kids already when I went to college to get my nursing degree. And so it was about finishing. Because I was already, I wasn't right out of high school. Or, I had a family already, so I needed to finish, so I needed to get to work, so I needed to have income. So mine was truly about the finishing. So it was buckle down, get in there, do it, and get out.
Any other questions? This is great.
For your performing arts program, are you able to win scholarships, and if so, how?
So for the AXO program, you compete, like I said, you compete locally, and basically if you win gold, like if you're the top one in our category, we take you to nationals, and then if you do well there and you win gold there, gold, silver, bronze, you get a scholarship. And then we also have other scholarships that you can apply to that just come throughout the year that are for a lot of different things, not just performing arts, anything academic to performing arts to, any niche category you want to go into. Those just come as they come, But for the AXO one, you would just sign up. I believe the competition date is on April 20th. And so the last date to submit your thing is a week before April 13th. So just submit that, and then for AXO you can compete up into 3 categories. So if you a poet, a dancer, and you do medicine, you could do all 3 of those. So.
Can you do 2 categories at the same time, or do you have to choose?
No, you can do all 3. You can do 3 categories, up to 3 categories at the same time, and they'll make sure they'll schedule your performances and or whatever you have to do so they don't conflict. You can do all of them.
And it can't be groups, or does it have to be individual?
The only one that I think is group, I think is architecture. They have an architecture one, I think, and I think that one's a group project. But I think everything else is individual.
So for the performing arts competing, would it be like performing?
Yes, it'll be performing.
Okay.
So if you're performing arts, off top, I don't know what you want to do, dance or something like that. Like they have several.
Like theater, like acting?
They got theater. They got theater. They have, I think there might be 2 theatrical categories. I can't remember. But we had somebody win silver, or no, gold. Either silver or gold. I don't know. Don't quote me. Silver or gold last year. So she got her scholarship. So she's only a junior. So you can go every year. You know, like if you're a freshman, you can go. You're like up until the year you just graduated. So if you're a senior and you graduated, you can go that year too. So yeah.
With kind of like coming out of high school and everything and not knowing what you want to do, like going into college, how did you kind of narrow down and like kind of decide where you wanted to go after high school? Does that make sense? Like.
So after high school, how did we decide what we wanted to
Yeah,
to
kind
do?
of like how did you kind of like how did going to college help you like narrow down kind of like your options kind of?
Because you had mentioned that you were like a little lost going into college out of high school. How did you figure out what you wanted to do from there?
It was really just putting myself out there and just, trying different things that I was interested in. So being involved in different clubs, doing different hobbies with friends, just really putting yourself out there and actually trying those things and seeing if you enjoy it. That's what it was for me. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I've probably got another 3 minutes before the bell rings, so please, this is great. I love the questions. This is wonderful.
Okay, what was the process like when you ran for Miss California?
The process. It's interesting because the process was actually a lot like joining the military in a way, which people are kind of surprised, to hear about. It was, of course, it was working out. It was, making sure my mental health was in the right state. Preparation, because I competed twice. So the first time I competed, I just thought it was a lot like modeling. So I was like, you know what, I got this, right? It was just, I guess, overconfident. It's like, okay, I got this. Like I don't need any coaching. I don't need any help, right?
But to find out that it was different.
Right. It was a lot different, and really, now I say that you can never prepare too much, right? So the second time I competed, I actually reached out and got some help, right? So I got some coaching. So that was mainly like my preparation process. Make sure I was eating right, made sure I knew that what my platform was, because it wasn't just about going up there modeling on stage, like a beauty pageant. Yes, it's called a beauty pageant, but it's also representing a lot more, right? So what do you want to do with the platform? And that's even what I talk to about with the girls who are coming behind me who want to compete. It's what do you want to talk about? What do you want to represent? Is it just about just having that title, or is it something more to you? So, and it's about inner beauty, right? It's not just how you appear on the outside. And so things like that is what, it took a lot of self-searching, right? Getting to know yourself, understanding what you stood for, how you want to represent yourself and others around you. So that was my preparation process. Yeah.
Yes.
I got here a little late, but when did you join the military? Like right after high school?
No, so after high school, I went straight to college, and I joined the military when I was 25. So I was a little bit later. I had already got my degree at the time, so that's how I was able to go in as a specialist, and then I promoted to a sergeant shortly after. So for me, it was a little bit later in the game because I didn't really know about the military. I knew about the military, but not the National Guard. So And plus, again, I didn't really see myself in that field, right? But then I seen the different benefits that it had, and initially I had joined because of school. Like, I wanted to become a veterinarian at the time, and I was like, okay, so how am I going to pay for schooling? You know, it's expensive. So that was my initial motivation for joining. And then once I joined, remember I said I had different interests, right? And one of the interests that always stuck with me was the artistic field. If I wasn't going the medical route, then I wanted to do something that was artistic. And so the opportunity to become a social media manager and a marketing manager had came up, and so I took that opportunity. So sometimes you never know how life leads you, right? God's plans for your life, but I'm very happy and content with where I'm at right now, and I feel like I've made a good decision for my life.
Right on time.